Hello guys, today we will be looking at two really amazing attacking games played between Alexander Grischuk and Levon Aronian in their match in the Clutch Chess on the 9th of June. Both of these attacking games were really interesting and we can learn a lot. We can train our attacking skills by studying these games. So let us check out these games and I'm sure that you will learn a lot in the process. So in the first game, Grishuk was white and Aronian was black. The game started with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4. The Nimzo-Indian defense e3, castle, bishop d3, c5, knight g e2. So this is some sort of a rare line by Grishuk. The main line, of course, is to play knight f3 when black has options like d5, which is of course the main line, and also even b6, which is fine for black as well. But in the game, Grishuk went for a slightly rare knight g e2. Black takes on d4, white takes on d4, and black plays d5. A very logical follow-up. White simply takes on d5 now, c into d5, and white is not afraid to play with the isolated queen pawn position, the pawn on d4, as he believes that he can create a lot of attacking chances, and this is in fact what happened in the game. Black recaptures with the knight, and now Grishuk surprised Aronian with a really interesting move. Here Grishuk played the bishop on c2 immediately. The main line, of course, is to castle here, the most logical move in this position, and then slowly white tries to build up an attack on the king side. But in this game, after knight d5, Grishuk decided to start attacking the black king immediately, and he played bishop c2. The idea of bishop c2 is quite clear, that that white wants to play queen d3 and threaten mate in one move with queen h7. Of course, by playing queen d3, white wants to provoke some weaknesses in the black's king side. Black might defend the mate with g6 or f5 or whatever, and there will be some sort of weakness on the king side, which in the future white would like to exploit. Black simply develops the knight on c6 and white plays queen d3 as he planned. And here Aronian played a novelty. I guess Aronian was not familiar with this variation, with this position, and he played this novelty over the board. Instead of creating a weakness on the king side, instead of defending it with something like g6, which is the most natural move in this position, Aronian decided to maintain the pawn structure on the king side without giving any opportunities, any weaknesses on the king side, and he played queen h4. So he defended the h1 pawn with the queen, which looks quite logical. Black doesn't really want to weaken his king side, but the queen on h4 itself is quite vulnerable, and we will see how beautifully Grishuk exploits this and gains the initiative, gains an strong attack on the king side. So I would like the viewers to pause the video for a while and try to guess the best move for white here. I hope that the viewers found the correct move. Here white played the amazing bishop g5. The bishop is of course not supported on g5, but it is very clear that the queen cannot take here because there is a mate on h7, and white simply gets to develop his bishop with a tempo. And as I said, the queen is really vulnerable, and Grishuk starts exploiting it move by move. Here black plays queen h5, keeping the h7 pawn supported, and white strikes with the move g4. So white again attacks the queen and gains space on the king side, which will be very useful to create an onslaught on the black king side. Black plays the only move, which is queen g6, and now white of course does not exchange queens but simply plays queen d2, and again the queen on g6 is attacked. So you can see how energetically white is exploiting the vulnerable position of black's queen and trying to create initiative, trying to create threats on each and every move. Black plays f5, which is again the only move, as the queen doesn't have any squares to move to, and white plays rook g1, another very nice move. It is clear that at some point white will take g into f5 and open up the g file when the rook is very much needed on the g file. So white immediately places his rook on the g file, and in the future he can create a lot of threats on the g file. Black plays e5. So I guess Aronian wanted to create some sort of a counterplay desperately. Otherwise, he correctly felt that the initiative white has on the king side will be really strong. So Aronian wanted to fight back with a counter attack in the center, but in fact this backfires badly. And with correct play, Grishuk gains a really strong advantage. Instead of e5, in fact, black should have defended passively with a move like queen e8, so that of course queen e8 and not queen f7. As suppose queen f7, then gf5, ef5, and white can simply play bishop h6, winning the exchange at the least. That is the reason why it is important to play queen to e8, so that the f7 rook is so that the f7 square is free for the black rook to defend the g7 point. So queen e8 should have been played, but white is still clearly better. You can see how unorganized, how uncoordinated black's pieces are, and white always has this option of castling long and continuing with his attack on the king side. But in the game, Aronian struck in the center with e5, trying to find in the search of some counterplay, trying to create some counterplay. White simply took g into f5, opening up the g file as he planned before. Bishop f5, and now white plays bishop b3, exploiting the weak diagonal, the a2 g8 diagonal. The d5 knight is pinned badly, and it is going to come under a lot of pressure. Black plays bishop e6, the only way to defend against e6 against this pin on the diagonal, bishop e6. And now here Grishuk made a slight mistake. The correct move for white was to play bishop h6. A logical move, but I think that Grishuk calculated one move further, and he thought that after queen f6 it is not so easy for white to create some sort of an attack, because taking on g7 is clearly made by taking on f2. So black creates a counter attack on the f2 pawn, but white can simply castle here, a very cool move. The king safeguards himself on the queen side, and now there is simply no stopping white's attack on the king side. Black can try rook f7 defending the g7 point, but white can simply take d into e5, and now the d5 knight is hanging, and white is about to win a lot of material. But in the game, Grishuk played another very logical move, bishop e7, but in fact with correct play, Aronian could have complicated this position by playing queen to f7, but he played queen f5. There is a very subtle difference between both of these moves. Aronian chose queen f5, but after bishop f8, rook f8 and long castle, white was clearly an exchange up, and he won the game quite comfortably. So I think it was quite instructive from this point on, when Aronian played this move queen h4 in the opening here. When Aronian played queen h4, and Grishuk beautifully exploited the vulnerable position of the queen by really strong attacking chess, by some really energetic chess, and gained a nice initiative on the king side by playing bishop g5 and then g4 and then queen d2 and rook g1, and white gained a really strong initiative. So this a few moves which he played were really quite instructive. Let's look at another game in which this time Aronian shows this kind of attacking sense, this kind of beautiful attacking technique, by which he is able to gain an advantage against Grishuk. So let's check out another game from this match. So this is another game in which Aronian is playing with the white pieces now versus Alexander Grishuk with the black pieces. Black just played the rook to f8, the rook to d8 from f8. Black is a pawn up, and he has the bishop pair, and he is of course aiming to exchange more and more pieces so that he can reach an endgame safely and try to claim his extra pawn. But here Aronian executes a very beautiful attacking combination. I would like the viewers to pause the video for a while and try to guess the best move for black. So I hope that the viewers found the correct move, which is of course not to exchange the rooks on the d file, but to play rook c1, attacking the queen and kind of pushing the queen towards the queen side, as coming to f5 is of course not possible. White can simply play g4 and the queen will be trapped. For example, after queen f5, g4, and we can see that the black queen has nowhere to go, and white simply wins the queen. So it is quite forced for black to play queen a4, the only square which is where it is not getting trapped. And now white shows the point behind his previous move, rook c1. The queen is pushed down to the queen side, and there are essentially no pieces on the king side left for black to defend. And white just crushes, just destroys black's fortress with a series of moves, series of forced moves. Here white plays the beautiful knight e6, a nice sacrifice. Fe6 is more or less forced. Like, of course, you can delay the struggle, you can just play queen h4, but this not accepting the piece sacrifice, not accepting the challenge, is just going to lose quickly. White can just grab the exchange and play rook d1, and it is quite clear that black doesn't really have enough compensation for the exchange. So fe6 is of course a very logical move. Black has to accept the sacrifice and ask white, okay, show me your combination, show me what you got. White of course takes the pawn on e6, queen e6 check, king f8, and now strikes hard on black's king side with another beautiful sacrifice, bishop g7 check. Black is again forced to take, and now queen e7 check, king g8, and it is still not so clear how the lone queen, the e7 queen, is going to create mating threats against black king. But this is where Aronian finds a beautiful way to include the rook on c1 into the attack forcefully without wasting a single move. Aronian plays queen e6 check, king h8, and now the key move rook c4, attacking the black queen, and the threat is quite clear that white wants to give queen f6 check followed by rook g4 checkmate. So this beautiful combination with which Aronian executed, starting from this position, he first played rook c1, pushed the black queen away from the king side on a4, and now executed the really beautiful combination knight into a6, f into a6, queen a6 check, king f8, and bishop g7 check, queen e7 check, king g8, and the final blow, the path, creating a path for the white rook to join the attack, queen e6 check and rook c4, and Grishuk simply resigned here. So this exchange of blows, this exchange of really nice attacking blows by both Aronian and Grishuk is what I felt quite instructive, and I hope that you also learned a lot in this process. You also trained your attacking skills at the same time. So I hope you enjoyed this game, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.